you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan?
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning, and what a special day we got for you listeners today. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood holding it down. This is the 5th anniversary of the Down and Dirty Radio Show. I guess we're I don't know, actually, technically, I think we're a couple weeks off, but we wanted to have Pastrana on for the anniversary show, and Travis is Travis, so you get him when you can, and we got him this week, so we delayed it by like 2 weeks. It's all right, though. Same month. I guess that counts for something. Yeah, we got Travis Pastrana on the line today. We'll have a little disclaimer about that here in the next segment. Massive interview we did with Travis Pastrana, and you can only pack so much of it into a national show. So it's going to carry over into the podcast a bit, but stoked to have Travis on. We got lots to talk about with him. Jim Beaver here, Amy Hood. I don't know. We're going to break down 2016, preview 2017. We got a lot going on today, Hood.
Definitely. And, I mean, I know it's the 5th anniversary for Down and Dirty Radio Show, but I think it's our 3rd year on-air anniversary. So I'm proud. You know, we're going 3 years solid. I feel very confident for next year and that you won't get rid of me. So, Amen.
All right. We are going to take a short break, and when we come back, I don't know, we got a bit to talk about. We got a lot to talk about today. Snow bikes. I was up there for the X Games kickoff. I don't know. We got a lot to going on today, so hang tight. It's going to be one heck of a ride here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at mtx.com. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle and Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. And, welcome to our 5th anniversary show. Got Travis Pastrana on here in a bit. So my disclaimer about that. So, it is a pre-taped interview. Travis, sometimes it's hard to get him to call in to a certain minute. Well, you see Travis on TV, and he's the excitable guy, like, all over the place. Well, that's Travis in real life, too. So getting him nailed down to a down to the minute to do something is actually pretty tough. So anyways, we pre-taped the interview yesterday. I will say this. It's an insane interview. I think we're just shy of an hour. Which means there's no way to pack an hour into a 2-hour radio show because you got breaks and everything else. So we took like the first 2/3 of this interview and we're plugging it into the hour number 1 of this show. We broke it up, you know what I mean? So it'll fit into the slots. But if you want the full thing uncut, all hour long of it, you're going to have to tune into Project Action when it drops this Thursday. We'll have the whole thing uncut. Right there. So it's just the way it worked. You know, it's an amazing interview, and instead of cutting it at 25 minutes, we went an hour and just said, hey, this is the way it's going to roll. So I think you guys are going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy the part today. You're going to enjoy the whole thing this week. So I don't know. It's going to be good. We had a lot of fun, didn't we, Hood?
Yeah, definitely. And I actually had this conversation yesterday with somebody, and any of those who know Travis personally, I can agree, but, you know, all the fans out there, I am saying this from the most honest place I've ever been in my life, but I have never met a more accomplished and famous person in my life who is so freaking normal and just really humble, and, like, he's just like an everyday guy. He talks to you like you're his best buddy that he's known his whole life. Like, there's no ego or you know, it's just, I've never met somebody as insane as Travis Pastrana. And, like, you know, we talked about it before. Like, you know, you say people don't know who Ricky Carmichael is. People don't even know who, you know, I'm Dale Earnhardt. Maybe they do. Okay, that's a lie. But you know, in motorsports and action sports and extreme sports, the most decorative and accomplished and household name is Travis Pastrana. And literally the guy, you know, just rolls through town and rolls through, like, you know, restaurants or anything, just like he's the average Joe, and he's just so normal, and it's so cool to see. And, like, you guys can really tell that from the interview. Like, he's just, you know, like, we're, like, laughing and joking around and just, you know, like, just like a bunch of friends sitting on the couch chatting. And that's the coolest thing about Travis is, I mean, I just have whole new respect for him and how down to earth he is, and I wish everybody would be like him.
Yeah, well, and that's one thing. Yeah, I mean, Travis is. It's funny because in the interview, and I don't know if it's the segment we air today or if it's in the full hour-long interview, but like we talked about these professional race car drivers and, like, the guys from Europe, Valentino Rossi and Michael Schumacher before his accident, and they come to the United States and they do it because nobody recognizes them and they're this massive celebrity, you know, and nobody in the U.S. cares. Well, Travis was saying he's good friends with Jimmy Johnson, who just won his 7th NASCAR championship or whatever it was, and Jimmy's one of the greatest race car drivers probably of all time. He's just that good, right? Well, he goes to Europe because nobody cares about NASCAR over there, and he can go on vacation and nobody pays attention. Travis is like the one guy in the world. it doesn't matter if he goes to Australia, the United States, Europe, Antarctica. People know who he is, and he gets swarmed. Like when you're Travis Pastrana, that's why he has his compound called Pastrana Land. It's because I think that's his sanctuary. It's the one place he can go where he doesn't have to worry, and it's got to be an interesting, he's the one guy who I think can handle it because he just likes everybody. I don't think he's got him.
That's the thing. He never turns down interviews. He loves to talk to people. Like it's great, but he's not like that, that pro athlete like sitting in the VIP booth in the corner of the bar, like he's just right in there with everybody else and just like average Joe, and it just makes a point of, anybody who comes up taking pictures or, shaking hands, kissing babies, whatever he's got to do. And it's just, again, for as successful as he is, how normal and humble and down to earth he is just blows my mind all the time. But it's really cool. I really like to see that. And I think it's really because he's, kind of stayed true to his roots, and he lives in the house that he grew up in and drives the truck that he had when he was 16 years old, and all, everybody around him who even lives with him at Pastrana Land, like, there's all of his lifelong friends that he grew up with and, started Nitro with, and they're still there and they're still around. So it's kind of like keeps you humble, but.
Yeah, well, it's a whole, and we talk about that. It's like a family, and it's like I've been fortunate enough, and you have, to kind of been invited to the family, and it's, it's not something I tried. It was just, I became friends with one, and then all of a sudden you're friends with another person in Nitro, and then, and then another person, and now all of a sudden you're in the family, and it is like, it's welcoming. Like I can text any one of them, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do this favor. It's not favor. It's just, it's kind of, it's an interesting night. Oh, ask Travis, or Travis will be like, oh, ask Jolene, or Tommy, oh, ask everybody. It's just, it's just an interesting dynamic, and they all support each other, and no, it's good stuff. Travis, just a class act human being. And, it's funny because you hear, and I've seen it like at autograph signings, they say, oh, so-and-so signed in for 30 minutes. They show up, they sign for 30 minutes. Doesn't matter if there's 150 people in line. When their 30 minutes is up, boom, I'm checking out. See you guys later. Sorry. Travis, he'll sit there till 3 in the morning. If there's somebody in line, every last person is getting an autograph. And I've seen like at Rally, like he gets out of the car and a lot of guys go into the motorhome because they've got an hour break and they want to rest and stuff like that. Travis, he goes into the motorhome, goes to the bathroom, comes out, and he signs autographs for an hour instead of waiting, and there's still people in line. He's literally under the gun to get back in the rally car to make the race. And he's like, you can tell he's torn because, and he'll apologize to everybody. He'll be like, please come back. I'll be back in 2 hours. Please come back. I'll sign your stuff. And it's like he feels bad leaving to go and do his job, and it's like he's apologizing to these fans. And I've never seen anything like it. Most drivers would be like, see you later, man. Sorry you didn't get one. Travis, he comes back. He's like, no, I promise you, I'll be back at 8 o'clock tonight. Come on.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. It's good stuff. But, it's just you've been fortunate in this industry, and I have. I mean, I started the show 5 years ago, obviously, and I started out, man, I think we had like 27 listeners in the first episode, something like that. And, I didn't have contacts for anybody. And it was literally reaching out on social media, and it was a grind to get even a remote, just, fifth tier type driver, the first couple of episodes. I just kept grinding. And, I've been fortunate enough. People think it comes easy, but it's not. I mean, it's now to the point where like Travis, we wanted him. So I just sent him a text. Hey, Trav, you want to come on the show? Oh yeah, dude, I'm traveling this week. Let's do it next week. But, before to get that interview, it was like, man, it was like a 2-month-long process going through agents and, managers and this and working with schedules. And I mean, and it's, we're fortunate now where things come easy. I know you like, oh, so-and-so just won the Supercross race or got, took a podium. Let's get them on. You shoot them a text. Oh, they're on air, but we're really fortunate. Like people think, it hasn't been easy for me for sure, and it was a struggle. Now, it's a lot easier to get in the door and get these interviews, but man, it was definitely tough going. So anybody wanting to start something out, man, I'm just telling you, whether it's a YouTube channel or a podcast or whatever, just be in it for the long run. Don't look at a 3-month window. Look at like a 2-year window. You just got to keep plugging away and punching out content to finally get someplace. Don't plan on making any money the first year. That's just the truth of it. I think everybody thinks, oh, I'm going to do it in 1 month. Everybody's going to come listen. I'm going to make a ton of money. And, by month 2, they haven't made a dime and they may have 100 listeners. And they're like, oh, this sucks. And they quit. Well, it doesn't work that way, It just doesn't. Same thing with a YouTube channel, It takes a while to build it. You know that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, we're going to take a short break here. And we come back. We're going to roll out with this Travis Pastrana interview. And I'm sure you guys are going to definitely like this. So we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. When we come back, it is all TP 199. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZ, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor or Jim Beaver's Project Action. If you're tuning over there, the good news is we're double dipping with Travis Pastrana this week. We got Mr. Travis himself on the line. How's everything going, buddy?
Dude, could not be going better. How about yourself, Jim?
I am doing well. Warming up from my time in Minnesota, and I don't know. I don't mind cold. I don't mind winter, but when we get like -20, dude, it just I don't know. You guys get some.
How was that snow bike race? I know Renner was down there. It's magical. There's Feist. I heard. That sounded awesome.
Yeah, snow. It's I don't know. It's blowing up, man. You're a guy. You're tied in with Polaris. I'd be telling him, hey, send me out one of these timber sled kits. I could see that something up your sleeve.
No, I've been on the timber sled, man. We did that a little bit ago with all the Godfrey clan, man. We were out there, went ice diving with Andy Bell, and I had some fun with that. Actually, yeah, it was horrible. I lost a bet and had to do a whole day riding in a Speedo. I thought I was going to die, but it was a good time.
Yeah, how do you guys come up with what you come up with? Like, I mean, it's
I
just
have
let's
no
punish ourselves
idea.
as
It's
much
horrible.
as possible.
Horrible friends.
Yeah. Horrible friends. I don't know. It's they're horrible or the best friends. One of the two, right?
Yeah.
No, man, I wanted to, just it's been a while. I was trying to think back when last time I had you on air. I know we've done some stuff with Rally America, but actually on the national show, I don't know. I think was it the Mint 400 when you raced Trophy Truck? I mean, we're talking way back, man. It's been a while.
No,
so.
could have been. Dude, that was a fun event too, man. It's been a fun couple of years. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, you had a hell of a run, dude. I mean, how is that though? Because you're kind of in a transition period. You're really in just like I don't know if it's a transition period. I mean, you're still competing. Obviously, you're racing at an elite level with Higgins and Subaru and stage rally. You jump into rallycross here and there, but I mean, like competition. I mean. You're still killing it in the shows. You're riding at a high level, but you're just, you're kind of spending more time bringing up these young up-and-comers now and giving them a platform to kind of, grow themselves. I mean, how are you feeling? I mean, your career, you're going out and having a lot of fun right now, it seems like.
No, without a doubt. And then 2 girls and a wife at home. It's been our oldest 3. She just been riding those Ossets and having a blast on that kind of stuff. I'm so scared. I'm like, man, we're going right back down that same like Brian Deegan. His son's been kicking butt and moto and that kind of stuff. But I tell you what, Nitro has come full circle. It's absolutely awesome to see. I mean, we've got so many shows and a lot of different level. We got regional shows where we pull a lot of local guys out. I wanted to make a kind of a world championship for big air, just something where the ramps kept evolving. I mean, we had skate guys out last week, just working on trying to get their ramp to the level that the bicycle and the motorcycle ramps were for World Games last year. So kind of being in charge of ramp design and development to help give the riders a say and if they have something that they want to do, to give them means to do it and do it safely. So that's been taking up most of my time, but also doing just the business side. It's been so cool, man. We have toy companies reaching out to us, building all this different stuff, video games coming out, probably be another year and a half of development on some of the stuff. But, clothing and merchandise and working with hyper bicycles for bicycles and kids bikes and mountain bikes and all this stuff. It's wild. My dad always said, when you sit down at the table, make sure everyone else is around the table is smarter than you are. And I think we've done that well with Nitro. So,
yeah, I mean, it's kind of impressive. I mean, you guys built this from, the ground floor. I know you started out and it was just a small group of guys. You guys are putting out some videos and it's really, it's crazy now. You've got arms and legs in every which direction with video games, like you said, and TV shows and live shows and movies and clothing lines. It's like, man, I've never seen something grow up that quick. To get where it's at. It's pretty impressive.
Sorry, Tab, but I have to say the live show factor, it's not just a bunch of guys hitting ramps. The whole element of the storylines that you put in and the circus factor, and again, you guys are telling this story that I had no idea the shows are all about that. It was really cool to see. I mean, it's not like your stereotypical freestyle event. It's so much more of a live entertainment thing.
No, well, it's been fun. And it's been really cool just to see, it's universal language. It doesn't matter which country you're in, what's going on. It's the crowd gets on their feet. And I think the camaraderie and just getting to the roots of what action sports is. Like, why do you start riding a dirt bike? Why do you start, driving a razor or go-karts or whatever it was? And for us, that's passion. So we basically, the ramps are always changing. They're always evolving. I mean, James Foster, he's been known at multiple occasions to be welding a different extension onto the ramp the morning of the show. I mean, and this is, you might have 3 shows on 3 consecutive nights, and he's up before anyone's up. He's at the venue, and same thing. I mean, you got Jed Milden, all these guys, we're changing stuff on the fly, and that it's just been so much fun because they have a trick that maybe it's even a silly something that, it's never been done before, but maybe it's on a different vehicle or a different contraption, or they want to see something, do something. And that passion, and, a lot of times it doesn't necessarily add to the show, but it just to see the guys so excited about, like Dusty Weigel lands on a boogie board. He does, basically a kickflip on a boogie board into a rock solid and lands and rides it all the way out into the bag at the end. And the whole show's basically stopped because we're all tackling him and excited because he tried it like 18 shows in a row, and he's been modifying his boogie board and trying to lighten it up. And we called in Hyper Bicycles and had him send a frame for it. But that passion is, I think, what people really feed off of. And even the moms. I think the most powerful story sorry not to keep talking, but this mom came up to me and was pretty much crying at the end of the show and gave me a hug. And she goes, I always thought skaters and bikers and you guys were just hooligans. And I was trying to talk my son out of getting into this. And I was like, why did your dad doesn't skateboard? I don't skateboard. Why are you doing this? And she said she finally got talked into coming to the show. And she's like, I don't even know why. I saw someone go down on one guy was going down on a big wheel, pushing a guy in a wheelbarrow. And you guys were so excited and everyone was hugging. And I just got up and I started jumping up and down, and she's like, you know what? If my son could have this group or this camaraderie and these friends and this much passion, and if it's going to take him skateboarding, she goes, I'm a full supporter of him skateboarding. And I think that stuff like that goes so far with me, especially as a parent now, to be like, you know what? That's really what it's about. It's about friendship, having fun, and the fact that we get to travel around the world making a living on kids' toys. This is great.
Yeah, that's and that's it. The show, it's you guys travel around the world, and you guys are you're talking about the progression and things like that and the camaraderie, but you guys are traveling around the world, and I mean it very much is. I've been back scenes at Nitro shows. It's a family atmosphere. You guys look out for each other, and and even when you had the guys chasing the quadruple back on on the BMX bikes, they were competing against each other to be the first, but at the same time, they were very supportive of each other's quest to do it, so I think that's what's great about Nitro, because you don't get that anywhere else.
No, it's really pushed the sports, I think. And even, we pick up a lot of guys at different hometowns that are just super passionate. Yeah. They're good at what they do. They can make it down the ramp.
Yeah, it's, to me, it's just crazy. And especially in the past 2 years, you guys have just ramped things up tremendously. I mean, you had, the quadruple back on the bikes. You've had the triple back on the motorcycles. And, we're talking, I don't know what's next. You guys, it's crazy.
No, honestly, our goal next is just to really bring up the level of competition and the level that, for instance, this year, everyone saw we had a 72-degree angled takeoff, 14-foot tall moto ramp to a 25-foot tall landing. And all the moto guys are sitting there like, oh, it's the biggest thing we've ever seen. And I'm looking over with Jed Milton and James Foster. And so this is it's a padded landing. It's not super safe, but it's safer. Josh Sheehan did a double backflip kiss of death and over-rotated, landed on his butt from like a 50-foot atomic butt drop and walked away. He wasn't happy about it, but that wouldn't happen to a regular landing. So, but anyway, so we got these guys saying this is the biggest thing. It's too big. It's dangerous. This and that. And Jed Milton goes, "Hey guys, I jumped a ramp that was 6 degrees steeper. It was 7 foot taller takeoff and 13 foot taller landing. And I did it to a quadruple backflip on a bicycle with no suspension to a wooden landing. So I think you guys just need to sack up and hit it." And it turned out to be a great event. But it's just bringing the mentality of what's possible up to where the guys are on Nitro and the live tours, and and trying to feed that from the ground up, with the kids.
Yeah. Well, how about you? I mean, you personally, you obviously, you were one of the guys in FMX that just continue to push and push and push. And I know, even with the triple, you were hanging in there, and there was a point where you just bowed out and you said, "Sheeny, it's all you, man. You gotta carry the torch here, and I'll support you." But I mean, you're still, whether it be on bikes and things like that, you're still trying to progress things. I mean, what you have anything up your sleeve that you've still got in the back of your mind, like, hey, I really want to pull this. Nobody's done that before.
No, I mean, I guess on a bicycle it would be the America roll. It's never been landed, so we can't really claim it. But I'm claiming it for America right now, because the Aussies, we were working forever on a double backflip full twist, and then an Aussie scooter kid landed and called it the Aussie roll. I was like, hey, I love that trick. So now we got Brandon Schmidt is doing a triple backflip full twist onto an airbag, so he's got to land at the dirt. But I think that would be something that'd be pretty fun. And then on a motorcycle, it's the Aussie roll. I hate to have to call it an Aussie roll, though. I figure on a dirt bike maybe we can it's still an Aussie roll. But anyway, so I'd like to do an Aussie roll on a
There's
dirt
like a
bike,
disclaimer there, though. There's a disclaimer, though. Like, I mean, it's different. A scooter to a dirt bike, I don't know. I think you still lay claim to it. I don't know. It's I'm saying there's like an asterisk down there.
That's a touchy subject.
Yeah.
But either way, I want to do the American roll because I feel like we earned something to be called, and it's got to be bigger than an Aussie roll. So.
And we're going to take a short commercial break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Those of you enjoying this interview with Travis Pastrana, we are going to continue it after the break. But at some point, we're going to have to cut this thing short because this interview is like well over an hour long. So if you want the full thing uncut, you're going to have to tune in to Jim Beaver's Project Action this week. You can listen to all hour long of it uncut. But right now, we're going to take a short break. We come back, more Travis Pastrana here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. We got Travis Pastrana, this epic interview with Travis Pastrana that's going to continue right about now. So how about the racing side of things? I know, I've found that, there was a point there where, you were driving, you had your own Red Bull Global Rallycross team for a couple of years, and then, and then you went back home to Subaru. I know that was a big deal. It was like Travis's homecoming, and there was a little bit there, you didn't do a lot with Subaru there for, it was like a year or two, but now, I know it's game on. You are 100% dedicated to, you came in this year. I think you maybe only missed one event or two events. And I know for the next 2 years, I mean, it's full on. You're attacking this championship.
Yeah, it's been awesome. I mean, my teammate on Subaru, David Higgins, he was my first real coach. He was the first guy that I really looked up to and helped out, really getting me into rally. And it was amazing because the first 2 rounds, I mean, there's over 400 miles of stages, and our biggest stage difference was 6 seconds of every stage. And I'm like, crap, I've modeled my entire driving style, everything that I've ever done, off of this guy. We've got the exact same cars. Now, how the heck am I going to beat him? So I was able to we got one win on the first round and lost the second round by 9 seconds. And then I was crashing a lot trying to keep up. And I'm like, all right, I need better notes. We need to take this more seriously. My co-driver, actually, he was like, hey, look, he's got a full-time job in New York City. He goes, I can't take the time off of my work to do this how you need to do it. He goes, so here's the thing. He goes, you can take chances like you're doing right now, and we can risk everything and potentially beat Dave at a round or two. But he goes, if you want to win the championship, you're going to need someone more dedicated than I am. And if you're not willing to be more dedicated than that, I'm not willing to drive with you because we're going to go off a cliff at some point next year, and it's going to suck. So I was like, that's really good thinking. And, I signed on. I signed basically on, and I said, look, Nitro has been my priority until this point. Really wanted to get the World Games all launched and all that, but I want to come back, and I want to have a legit shot at going for the championship again and trying to beat, definitely the most motivated, talented, and strongest competitor that I've ever gone up against. And to do that in rally is going to be awesome. So the fact they're both on the same team is really great. And, I've got a new co-driver for this next year and with Robbie Durant, and we're taking the time to make the best notes, going to these places early. You're allowed to go to the rallies, 4 months ahead of time or 3 months ahead of time, but not within the last 3 months. So we'll go to these places and we'll take 2 or 3 days just making notes and, trying to get where I feel like we have a chance. Not a good chance, but we've got a chance to beat David, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, and here's a question for you because you're talking about going and taking these notes, and and I know like David has said at one point, he's like, I wish I wouldn't have taught Travis so much. But there comes a point where you guys, I know your teammates, you're running under the same the same tent, so to speak. But at the end of the day, you're also both competing against each other, and and I know you guys are helping, and there's help with information flow back and forth, but that must end with notes because David and Craig have some very good, precise notes that they've had for the past 5 years, coming in, and I got to say there's no note sharing, right? David and Craig, you guys are on your own. Is that where the line's drawn?
No, and they use a different lingo, basically a different note system than I use. So we can't do that anyway. But what was interesting was after I won the first round of the championship this year, even though I wasn't doing the whole championship. After every stage we come in, and usually I'll just look at the data and we'll have basically outlined exactly if he was making time a quarter of a tenth of a second on every shift, or he was revving it higher, not as much, or he would make his time on the 4s and the 5s, which are the faster turns, or the 2s and the 3s, which are the slower turns. We'd have all that information. And after that first round this year, he goes, oh, you did good. I'm proud of you. I still, I'm here to help, but not during the races because you can't look at any of my data. And I was like, you know what? That's fair. Yeah. So that was probably the biggest compliment that David's ever given me, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when you're cut off, you're getting too close.
I'll take that as a great compliment. Yeah. All right. So that means he is pushing, he is trying, and we are close.
Yeah, so, that's what I love about David too, because he's a really good friend of mine, and we ping each other texts back and forth and things like that. I know he's getting ready to come to the States for New Year's, and we're setting him up with some razors out in Vegas for him and his son because he didn't want to go shopping with his wife. But I laugh because David, he's funny, he's got a personality, but when the rally starts, literally like the day of the rally, there's 2 days there where he's a different person. It is 100% business. It's a different David Higgins, and then Once the podium happens, he goes back to being David. But I've never seen, everybody takes their craft serious, but David, it's like, he goes full on like robot rally mode, and it's like, there's no having a casual conversation with him. It's, I've never seen somebody with that much dedication and that much focus. It's crazy. Hey, Trav, I don't know what we were having some weird phone problems. Yeah, we're having some
horrible
weird.
Hello. I think it might be because it's negative 50 degrees here in Winnipeg, and I know, Jim, you're kind of whining about the snow bikes being so cold in Minnesota, but we're actually about 20 degrees colder just 6 hours north of you, so I don't want to hear your whining.
Is it really? It's really that cold right now?
No. Well, I'm in Arizona now.
We've had weather warnings, we're like advised to stay in the house. It's horrible.
It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, it's insane. But just a couple more weeks. I got 2 more weeks, and I get to head down south for drive some big trucks. And, Travis, I know Addie is a Monster Mutt fan, but I think we got to convert her to the Zombie fan because I'm going to be driving the Zombie truck, and I think I could do it. Zombies are pretty cool.
They are. Actually, Addie did like the Zombie. Zombie came to Baltimore last year. I just was always a Dennis Anderson Gravedigger fan.
I know.
And, Addie, she saw Gravedigger. She's like, Monster Dalmatian. She's like, yeah, that's my truck. So I don't know if you're going to be able to you could probably smooth it. Are you coming to Baltimore this year? What series you doing?
Yeah, I got Baltimore.
You got Baltimore. All right, we will be there. What's it, mid-January or something, I think? Late January?
Perfect. Yeah,
all right.
It's in January, so I'll convert her. I'll do it. I can do it up. But it's actually pretty cool. We got the first female gravedigger on my tour this year. Dennis Anderson's daughter, Kristen, is going to be on. So it's going to be pretty cool.
No way.
Yeah, we got the alpha female tour. I think the guys are going to have to keep up with the chicks this year. It's going to be interesting for sure. So,
dude, that is going to be so good. I'm just so excited that you're in that now. And, honestly, I have so many friends. Damon Bradshaw, the beast from the East, is he's been driving. You got Cam McQueen, who has come from Nitro Circus and did all the Thrillbilly stuff, and he used to drive the Nitro Circus monster truck, and he's been in there doing actually both those guys won world championships in freestyle before. So it's been super cool. And then Addie's best friend, Timmy, is since blazing the Monster Machines, man. That is all that he has. Just Monster Jam. And he got Addie in the Monster Jam, and now it's like now we're actually traveling around, and we put like 6 Monster Jams, and she just like when it's over, she cries. Like no, more Monsters, right? Like every other kid's like running, like not running, but like okay, I'm done, I'm tired. It's like 10:00 at night. Addie's like no, more truck.
That's awesome.
It's
That's funny.
Really cool to see, so.
It's funny you mentioned that because so my Addie, my daughter, she's that way with Nitro Circus. And seriously, you guys only hit Arizona or Vegas. Like I think it's Arizona once a year. And it's like, Dad, when's Tommy coming back? And, when's Travis and when's Jolene coming back? Awesome. And, and obviously, there's some stories there. But, no, it's funny, and then she tells all her friends about it. And, for her, it's like all these other kids see the TV show and stuff like that. So and Tommy on and everything else. And my daughter, it's like, she's like, well, what do you mean they don't get to go backstage? Like, I know these people. And I'm like, well, Addie, normal kids, they don't get that access, honey. And she's just like, cause these other kids are like, Tommy? And my daughter's like, oh yeah, he's coming to my birthday.
Does everyone not know Tommy? Like,
yeah. My daughter's like, he's coming to my birthday this year. So I don't know. It's just funny, but she's that way with Nitro. Like you say that, like she's sad when it's over, and it's like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Like literally, she doesn't really use the internet, but I swear she would be all over the schedule. Like when's this coming back?
That's cute. That's cute.
Kids, they change your life.
Yeah, definitely will. Well, your daughter, she's. I got to tell you, she's a little daredevil, man. I know I've talked with you about it a bit, but just seeing some of the stuff you post to social media and stuff, jumping out of the rafters into the foam pit and things like that, like she's got no fear, man. That's got to have you a little nervous.
Yeah, well, honestly, what's really funny is, so I have 2 daughters, and our oldest one, Addie, she's kind of a show pony. Like, if there's no one around, she'd be like, nah, that's okay, Dad. I'm good. I don't want to ride. As soon as there's like a group, she's like, Dada, bike. I'm like, you didn't want to ride, but it was just honestly glad. But so our youngest
Sounds like
so,
me.
like she's the opposite. She does not do anything if there's people around, but like one-on-one, like I'm always scared because I was down the other day and we were all on the, I'm riding bicycles and Addie's on the inside of the skate park. I turn around and our youngest, she's, a year and a half, and she's making her way up this ladder, getting to the top of this, like it's 25 feet to the top of the ramp. And I just about like, I swear I had only like turned my back for 10 seconds. And I'm like, how did she get halfway up? And she's just smiling and giggling. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. All right, ladder is being burned. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, well, you've got them BMX racing now too, right? Or at least the Strider bikes out at like the pump track or something like that.
Yeah, it's really awesome actually. Right by the house, like 10 minutes down the road, is one of the best BMX tracks out there with Chesapeake BMX. So, they held nationals and everything. I mean, the Strider class for the 2-year-old class has qualifiers to make it to the final.
Wow.
So it's pretty wild out there.
Wow. So I gotta switch gears here. I gotta ask you a minute because I know obviously Polaris Razor is a big part of everything I do, and I'm blessed to every year get some new razors show up at my race shop, and I know you're one and the same. And I got to tell you, some of the stuff you guys are doing in Polaris Razors, man, it's some of the just jumps, your standard jumps at Pastrana Land. I'm looking at that and go, man, these are a bit of a huck here. I mean, you guys look like you're having a lot of fun in razors.
Oh my gosh. The most unbelievable part about the Razor is that everybody can get in, and I mean, unfortunately people roll them, but we've got ours like so bulletproof right now, that it really doesn't, like, you can roll them, you roll them back over as long as they don't Chad Keggy it and jump. He jumps, like it's like a 100-foot jump, and he hits a tree in the air. It just takes off the whole left, the frame fence, but he had 2 broken heels and just had ACL reconstruction. I'm like, of all people, I didn't think I had to like take you for like 5 slow laps and be like, hey man, like don't be an idiot. Like you got 3 kids at home, man. What are you doing? Yeah. And he's like, well, I hit the tree in the air. I was like, well, yeah, but you saw it before you took off. Like the tree didn't move. So I do find that some people just should stick to BMX or motorcycles and not do the Razors. But for the most part, like everyone can get in. We got this awesome like kind of circle track. It's got a few like little jumps, and that's where we start people. And then eventually like we have 2 jumps over 150 foot on the Razor course, and it is so fun because the takeoff's about 25 foot tall. It's a big tabletop. It's just a big hill, but it's about 150, 160 feet to where you land. And so you go at night and you just flying up this hill, and all you can see is just stars and trees. And you drop, probably maybe 30 or 40 foot lower where the landing is and where the takeoff is. And when you're flying 160 feet, you're in the air for, 3-4 seconds. And you want to see some people poop a gold meat axe. And you just take them for a ride, man. It's the most fun I've ever had in my life, scaring people. It's great. And I love to scare people, so it's amazing.
Yeah. It seems like Razor was tailor-made for you guys. I mean, you have so much fun in there. It's made kind of like basically rally and off-road accessible for everybody else. I mean, nobody can really experience what it's like in an open class or alley car or a trophy truck, but you can get a Razor and can kind of somewhat, give you that experience. And I think it's an amazing training tool. Obviously, it's working for you guys because you're having a ton of fun in them too. Good stuff from Travis Pastrana. We're going to have to cut this interview a little bit short, but if you want to hear the full thing in its entirety, Project Action this week has you covered. It drops this Thursday on my website at Podcast One or on iTunes. Just search Jim Beaver's Project Action. You can catch the entire Pastrana interview uncut, all 45 minutes worth right there. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
I'm Polaris rider Levi LaValle, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like sound bars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
At the Blue Water Resort and Casino. They're giving away a total of 18 55-inch HD TVs on December 10th, 17th, and on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah! They're giving away $5,000 in gas cards. 50 $100 gas cards will be given away, and there'll be 5 winners every half hour on Christmas Eve.
Swipe, play, win. See the club for all the December drawing times and details now.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Watch Amanda Nunes, the Lioness from Brazil, defend her bantamweight title as she battles the U.S.'s beloved Rowdy Ronda Rousey. It's UFC 207 on pay-per-view December 30th in the Dig Lounge at the Blue Water Resort and Casino starting at 7 p.m. And it's free. Yes, free! Which lady will take the title of bantamweight champion? Watch it live for free in the Dig Lounge December 30th.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And my apologies. I know a lot of you guys, the Pastrana interview, I feel bad. It's an amazing interview. We had to cut it short because literally with national syndication, there's certain time slots and things like that. Well, like I said, it's an hour long in its entirety. I think right around 50 minutes. Maybe I'm getting a little ahead of myself by saying an hour long, but amazing, really candid. We talk about life, family, and a whole lot more with Travis and some of his friendships with Greg Godfrey and and the guys around Nitro Circus. So it's a phenomenal interview. The full thing, if you're listening to this after Thursday, the rest of it is available at Project Action. Just go to Podcast One or go to iTunes, and I'll give my plug. Rate, review, subscribe when you're on iTunes or at downanddirtyshow.com. You can stream it on Podcast One site or in their app. But the full thing, all hour long, will be there in this week's edition of Jim Beaver's Project Action. I didn't know what to do. Either you do a 20-minute interview with Pastrana and you leave a bunch of stuff out, and it fits into the show, or you do an hour long and you do part of it here and then throw the whole thing in its podcast. I thought you guys would enjoy it better if I just threw the whole thing in the podcast, but he was part of the 5th anniversary show, so I wanted it to be in this show as well. So I don't know. I'm working on it. I'm trying to spread things around, but thanks to all of you guys for your support. Just did a Facebook Live while we were airing that, obviously because it was pre-taped, and man, thanks to all you guys' support for those, man. We've been killing it with some numbers there, but we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, got some snowcross, we got some snow bike racing, and Amy and I, we're going to dissect 2016 and look forward to 2017 here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm talking 5th anniversary shows and a lot. We got to talk some snow bikes here in a bit, but we did have some racing action, and most series are wrapped up for the year. Snowcross, man, they're just getting started. So they were in Colorado, and I got to tell you, it was a nasty one up there in Colorado. I had a lot of friends that were racing and up there, and we were keeping tabs because obviously, I was at the snow bike race, right? Oh, my goodness, the weather up there, it was frightful, I guess, to take a note from the song. But looks like we had Aki Falaja, Jake Angove, and Travis Kern, your 1, 2, and 3. And in the first round up there in Colorado, that was round 3, and this is Pro Light. Aki taking the win again, round 4. Cole Coutu, my boy Cole Coutu in second. Jake Angove in third. Man, Cole, love seeing Cole on the podium, man. We talked about him a lot at the snow bike race. Thought maybe he'd, that's something he's probably going to be really good at too. But looking over at Pro Open, and it was Tucker Hibbert getting on his A game again. Tim Tremblay, Cody Cam, Ishwell, and Narsa, your top 5. My buddy Kyle Pauline, he was sitting there in 6th. And then looking at round number 4, Tucker again with a win. Tim Tremblay, Ross Martin. So man, Tucker Hibbert, he gets scary when he starts bringing it like that. It is, I don't know, it's a scary situation for everyone else because he's just that good, right? Easiest way to say it is he is just that good. He gets that points lead, and he likes to check out on the rest of the field. So I'm just saying, watch out. Tucker is coming. So, we got taking a little break, and then they got their big round up there in Minnesota, and then X Games. So, Snowcross just finally getting rolling, getting locked and loaded, and it was a cold one there, though. It was funny because it's like it hit Colorado, and then it came up to us in Minnesota like the next day. It was like delayed by a day or two, but the winds and everything else, like full-on whiteout blizzard conditions. I think Levi LaValle posted a video of the weather, and it was gnarly there in Colorado, just mind-bogglingly crazy. So if any of you guys went out and actually watched that, I don't know, it's going to make for some good TV. Let's put it that way. The live stream was awesome. I was pinging it here and there when I could, but good stuff. So we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. When we come back, we'll talk some snow bikes and 2016 and 2017 here on the show.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. And kicking off hour number 2. And, man, good stuff with Travis Pastrana. Like I said, those of you who feel cut short, I did too. But I'm telling you, we couldn't pack the whole thing into the show. So this is the best possible scenario where it could happen. So this Thursday, just skip on over to Project Action. We'll have the full thing in its entirety, uncut, right there for your listening pleasure. So speaking of pleasure, I had the pleasure of heading up to Minnesota to host some history, Amy Hood. Paul Thacker and I were able to call the first ever X Games snowbike qualifier and the first time in like 90-some year history of the American Motorcycle Association, the AMA, that they ever sanctioned an event that did not have wheels. So that was, I don't know, it's kind of cool. They were kind of playing that up. It's a big deal. AMA, they're throwing their back behind snow bikes. So,
yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, again, definitely something that, they haven't done before. So it is a little bit of history for sure this weekend.
Yeah. Well, I know AMA too. The guy from AMA, he's like, look, we got no interest in snowmobiles. But he said, we've looked at it, and like they literally made a business decision. They said they looked at it and they go, a snow bike is more motorcycle than it is snowmobile. So even though it doesn't have wheels, we decided to sanction it. I thought, they really put a lot of thought in whether they were going to jump in, to the snow bike movement. And to me, that was kind of cool. But they literally made it, they studied it and they go, you know what, this is more motorcycle than it is snowmobile. We'll do it. So I don't know, pretty cool stuff. Some amazing racing.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. So, the big news is so I guess so it's literally the AMA National Championship snow bikes. It's like the first year of this national championship. I don't think anybody knows what the heck to think of snow bikes yet. I think in the next 12 months, my prediction is this entire sport is going to blow up. Timber Sled, which is parent company Polaris, they own Timber Sled. They're investing a ton of money into it. X Games has anointed it. So now you got guys like, Renner, Robbie Madison, Axel Hodges, which I got to say, Axel Hodges, never met him before this weekend. You can always tell a dedicated, he got on a snow bike for the first time and he was burning laps. And it was ridiculous how smooth and fast he was. He's so talented.
Nice.
And he didn't even race. But we go out to dinner, and there's like a dozen of us, and Axel Hodges is sitting next to me. Everybody's, eating. It was a nice restaurant. Like I had lobster mac and cheese, right? It was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not healthy, but it tasted good, right? And I had a beer. And Axel Hodges is sitting there, and most of the other snow bike racers, a few of them like Feist, and guys are having a drink and having whatever. Axel Hodges is drinking hot tea and eating a salad. And I go, this is a guy that's dedicated to winning. I'm like, this is a guy that's dedicated to winning right here. Everybody at the table is drinking beer and having good food, and Axel Hodges, he's drinking hot tea and having a salad. And I don't mean that like begrudgingly. I looked at that and I go, respect right there. This dude is in it to win it.
I would never have thought that in a million years. Like, no offense, Axel. I mean, I know the crew that he rolls with, and I know, they like to have fun, have a good time. The dirt chart crew is wild. But good on him. That's, I actually earned a little bit of brownie points in my book, that's for sure. I didn't think he had it in him.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I go, this is a dude that he's taking this serious. But even like Feist, like this was like he spent a little bit of time in the backcountry on a snow bike a month ago. He came here, and this is the first time he's burned laps on a track, and I think he's getting an X Games invite.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't do super well. He was like, there was 50 guys there, and Feist was like a top 15 rider. His times weren't like elite level, the guys that have spent like a year or two on him. But Feist, I mean, he was pretty impressive. But he didn't quote qualify in, but I think they're putting him in anyways because he's fast and he's got a name. But he's going up to Colorado, and I met his wife, who I got to say is phenomenal. She's freaking awesome. But they're going to Colorado, literally like moving up there for a month, so he can train and ride at altitude. At like 10,000 feet to prepare for X Games. So, I mean, like, these guys they're taking this snow bike in X Games serious. It's not like these guys are going, we're just going to show up. It's X Games. I'll get a little TV time for the sponsors. Like, these guys, no, it's not that way. They're like, we're in it to win it, man. It's pretty impressive to see the dedication. So, I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Again, I appreciate people who kind of take it to that level. And, again, I know a lot of people have fun, and it's fun games, and there's no problem sitting down and having a beer, but when you're like out with your team or you are getting ready for your racing, I don't know if he's going to be racing Supercross. I'm curious if he is. I know he's tried before. He hasn't really been very successful, but, he might be putting in the work right now. But, again, time and a place for everything, and I just respect people who actually take their job seriously because, a lot of those young guns, and Axel is a young gun, definitely, they're just all about the rock star Hollywood life and just living it up and not taking their career seriously, and it's really short-lived. And, they're hot 1 second and not the next.
Yeah, well, it's funny because I had that conversation with Paul Thacker, because him and I, we spent two full days in the announce booth together. So on and off air, we had some pretty good conversations. But he was talking about like when he was training and racing snowcross and like Levi stepping away and stuff. And like I don't think whether it be snowcross or supercross, like we're talking elite level, I don't think people understand what goes into it to be like a professional supercross rider or even, like Tucker Hibbert, caliber snowcross rider. Like the dedication, like Thacker was saying, he's like, these guys, you're either on the track burning in laps or you're in the gym. And, the eating and it's not like you're going out having burgers and beers. I mean, it's, everything you eat, there's a reason for you to eat it. And I don't think people understand to get to Dungey's level what Dungey has had to put in to get there,
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Yeah, I mean, again, it depends on what level that you are on. Like, I understand, the Ryan Dungey, Ken Roxons of the world are the pro riders, but I knew kids here from Winnipeg growing up whose parents, the kids like 6 years old, 7 years old, on the gluten-free diet, having the craziest, like no candy, no nothing, super early curfew, can't really go around and play with his friends, and the kid's like 6, 7 years old, and they're just hardcore in it right away, early off in the game, to really tailor him to be this, an elite level moto kid, and to be able to compete at Loretta's, and there's so many kids and parents. Actually, I wouldn't say kids. I mean, obviously, a 6-year-old kid would not have a choice. These parents are pushing this very hard and extreme lifestyle on young athletes so early in the game. And I don't really know if that's right or wrong. And I just think you got to let a kid be a kid, and you got to let them decide what they want to do. And, sometimes it's really sad to see, because if you push too hard early on, you're guaranteed to get burnt out.
Yeah, well, I know even with like Addie, and it's funny talking with Pastrana. He's taken probably a similar approach with his daughters, but it's like her. I'm just exposing her to everything, and like she'll find, like, she does like razors and driving, and she said she's interested in possibly racing like Razor 170s and stuff like that. But it's not like I'm pushing her, I think you try it out and they find their way, and then and then they get good at something, and maybe about 11, 12, 13 years old, they really go, hey, I think I want to pursue this, and then you start cranking it up. But at 6 or 7, like, you don't do it then. You let them find their way, because they may want to do something like skateboarding for a year, and they may be really into it for a year, and then a year goes by, and then the next year, not into it, I want to go play soccer. Or it's just, how kids are. It's, you just don't know. So,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mean, and the best way to figure out what you like also is that, especially with my family, put all of the sports on the table for me, and I kind of got to choose on my own. It was like, okay, here's a bike, here's some gymnastics, go to swimming, diving, whatever, taekwondo. I did a little bit of everything, and then it was my choice, and I said, nah, I want to ride dirt bikes. And I think it was because I never got forced into it that I really found my way. I found my love for it. That it was not something I did because I had to do it. I chose that on my own, and I wanted to be better, and I wanted to get better, and the decision was up to me. And I strongly am going to pass that down to my kids, and anybody else listening. I as a racer myself, and young girl growing up with a family who races as well, that was the best. I think that's just the best way to go. Just never live your dreams through your children. It will never work out.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, we're going to take a short break. We come back. We got some 2016 and 2017 to talk about here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR, 5th anniversary edition with Jim Beaver and my partner in crime, Amy Hood, who I looked it up. Hood, 10/27 of 14 was your very first episode. That was, you were just like, it was just an interview, but that was your very first episode. So that's your birthday, 10/27/14.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, that's so exciting. So happy about that.
I wanted to talk real quick. We didn't even get to the snow bike results. I want to do that before we jump into talking some 2016 and 2017. But Nolan Hepner taking the win. I'm sure he's going to get an automatic grant into X Games at the qualifier. Jake Scott, former professional snowcross racer, actually raced for Team LaValle for a couple years. He took second. Cody Matchuk, this dude was literally on fire all weekend long. One of the fastest guys, just insane how fast he was. He took third. Harris Huizinga in fourth. And then Alfredo Gomez, Red Bull athlete, hard enduro rider from Europe. He's like one of the top enduro riders in Europe. He literally flew over to the U.S. to try and qualify into X Games, and with a top 5, I think he's got a pretty darn good shot at getting a bid into X Games. But Alfredo Gomez, literally like one of the, like I pulled him up on social media, massive following. His page is like all in Spanish, but like he's like literally one of the best enduro riders in the entire world. He actually was in Minnesota to try and qualify into X. So if that tells you how big this deal is. Yeah.
I had no idea. That's really cool.
Yeah. And then Darren Mees, I got to give a shout out to Darren Mees. Poor Darren Mees. The whole story there is he's in Oregon, former snowcrosser. He had flights booked to go to Minnesota. Because of the weather, the whole thing got they got canceled. Yeah, so he got in a car and drove in a 2-wheel drive car through a blizzard all the way across country to get to Minnesota. Got there, and he had to battle through like the toughest bracket. I don't know. He kept having bad luck, like bike breaking, and just he dumped it in one corner when he was wide open in the lead, and like it was sad. Like I think he's going to get a bid into X Games because you look at his lap times, he's like the fastest guy there. Just bad luck. If that week, like I'm sure that's one of those weeks where he just wishes he could start all over. Like feel bad, but he impressed me, so I'm assuming he probably impressed the powers that be at X Games because they said it's not like we're taking the top 4 and that's all we're taking. Like they said, they didn't even say they're taking the top 4. What they said is they're taking up to 8 riders, and they're going to be looking through the whole weekend at the body of work. You know what I mean? So if you led the main event and all of a sudden something happened and your bike broke and, you led 9 out of 10 laps or something like that, like, it's not like, they're going to go, oh, this guy can run up front. We probably ought to put him in X Games. So it wasn't like there was a defined, we're only taking these guys. It was kind of more of a, which I think is cool, So a guy like Darren Mees, I think he impressed, I know he impressed Thacker and I enough that hopefully X Games plugs him in there. But, yeah, and then do you have to mention we had one girl try and qualify in. She didn't. I don't think it's going to happen, but we had 2 ladies in the AMA snow bike. Just got to give a shout out to them. Impressive to see them out there in sub-zero weather. But Shayna Lear and Shayla Fulfer out there banging bars on the track.
Shayna's my girl.
Yeah,
Shayna's my girl. We go way back. We raced motocross in Minnesota. We always link up in Millville Pro National or wherever. And I've known Shayna for quite a while, and she actually was trying to get me into snow bikes this year. She wanted to take me out. She has a great relationship with the guys at Timber Sleds, and actually Shayna reached out to me yesterday. Small world, but she's really trying to expand her social media, and she wants to, pick my brain and just how to kind of market herself because obviously she's extremely dominant on a snow bike, and she has lots to offer sponsors. So, she's definitely gonna. You guys keep an eye out for her and make sure she's in your radar.
Yeah, definitely. I followed both Shayna and Shayla on social media, and Shayna, you can tell, man, she's like a moto chick. Like she's full blown. Like you look at her social media and stuff like that. She follows somebody, immediately look back their pictures. Like she eats, sleeps, breathes this stuff. Like she's full on. It's not like she's just a weekend warrior or something. So that's always cool to see. So Yeah, I think that'll be enough snow bike talk for the day. But something else coming out. So Monster Energy was a sponsor of this qualifier, right? Had big Monster Energy. I don't know, it was all over. Big party, DJs, Monster Girls, the whole works, right? And so I was talking with one of the athletes, one of the Monster Energy athletes. And I'm not going to name any names because I'm sure he probably doesn't want to be, public, but he was saying that he's been with Monster for quite some time, but he was saying that because the whole NASCAR thing, it had us worried. And he said his contract was up this past year and they just renewed him for 3 more years. And he said he was worried because he's not like a massive name Monster guy, and he thought because of the NASCAR thing that, they were going to whack all the lower, the smaller Monster athletes, right? They're all good. Yeah. But he said every Monster Energy athlete he knows that had a contract due this year got re-signed. So I think that's great news because, so it's not like Monster. We were worried about them whacking the younger guys the smaller guys. And no, it doesn't sound like that's happening. Seems like they're keeping everybody and adding NASCAR, which I think is cool. Wow. And he also said he sat in some meetings because I was asking him, I said, man, what's the deal? Like, why did they do that? And he says, look, he says, you got to know, he says, yeah, he says, none of us watch NASCAR, but he says, look, he says, the places that NASCAR run, Backwoods, Tennessee, Bristol, Darlington. He says, these are places that have young people living there, but he says they don't have Supercross. They don't have off-road trucks. They don't have rally racing. So he says Monster has a major motorsports event in all these markets around the country that they've never been able to have a presence at. Smart. So he said, so you got to look at it that way. He says, yeah, none of us are going to tune into NASCAR because Monster now all of a sudden is a sponsor. But he says now they have access to 100,000 people in the local market that are in markets that they've never been in before. So he said, you got to look at it that way. And I go, that makes a lot of sense. So
And I will add, the NASCAR fan base are the diehard, worker redneck, you tell them to jump, they say how high. No offense, that's great. They have extreme fan loyalty. So you're going to throw a Monster in their face, and every single person in the crowd is going to pick up a Monster can at the local gas station. It's very smart marketing, and just because of the loyal fan base that they have, it is. And then it's an older fan base as well. With Monster Jam, you can't exactly have Red Bull Rockstar and Monster Energy as the title sponsor because our age demographic is, 4 to 9-year-old kids who parents still want them drinking a caffeine-loaded, energy drink in their hand. And the demographic of NASCAR is a much an older crowd, and it's kind of works hand in hand, and it's a very, it's a lovely, it's a lovely pairing for sure. I just think, it is a very smart marketing move.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm changing my tune on this whole thing. I don't know. It sounds like a lot of. Well, we'll see how it works. It was something like I heard $900 million contract. Crazy. That's
insane. That's insane.
That's nuts.
That's absolutely insane, Jim. Oh my gosh.
$900 million.
Give me a little piece of that.
Yeah, that's a big nut to crack. But, so I wanted to talk to – so that's one of the big news coming out of 2016 because we're kind of recapping 2016. I don't know, what are some of your favorite racing moments? Not like I've got my personal ones, you've got your personal ones involving us. But, like, as a whole, like, what did you take away from, like, Supercross Outdoors? What are some of your standout riders? What are some of your favorite moments of this past year that you got to see?
Okay, so I was thinking about this, and – I had to think really long and hard, and it made me realize that 2016 was kind of a bit of a boring year. Dungey out in outdoors, made for, a Ken Roczen sweep. I do have to say the Alex Martin dominance over Jeremy Martin was very, a huge surprise, and a surprise to everybody. I was like, holy smokes, couldn't believe it. I would have to say another moment for me that was just, one of those, people are talking about it forever, was the Jason Anderson crash at MX Nations after he, I don't know how, won the first 450 moto and, taking his victory fist pump over the finish line and just landed on by a lapper and puts him out for the rest of the race. It was just horrific. It was horrifying. I just cried inside a little bit for him. So sad. But I have to say that hands down, the best moto moment of 2016 had to be at A1 last year, and I'm waiting. I mean, I'm hoping someone can top this year at A1. But had to be the Weston Pike UFC throwdown with him and Vince Freed.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Insane.
I forgot about that.
I mean, there was memes for days about that one, and it was just hilarious. I never thought I would see UFC, make a presence in Supercross, and it was just awesome.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that had to have been one of the best moments of the year, hands down, in anything. I was looking back and. Yeah, I mean,
it was at the first round of Supercross.
Set the tone.
Anybody is sitting on the edge of their seats watching that race, and it was just like, come on, man! Like,
I forgot about that. Oh man, that was good stuff.
Yeah, like lay off the steroids or whatever makes you angry. Like, chill out, bro. This is not UFC. Use your words.
Yeah, it was a pretty boring year. I know. I just had a couple of things I wrote down. I mean. Like looking at, I knew you'd have the Supercross stuff handled. I mean, Tucker Hibbert's dominance is just crazy in Snowcross. Looks like it's continuing. Volkswagen and Andretti are dominating Red Bull GRC. Rob McCachran, 3-time Baja 1000 champ, 3 in a row, the three-peat. That's a big deal. Cognito, Justin Lambert, undefeated in Best in the Desert and UTVs. In a naturally aspirated car with 5 of them being in overalls is pretty impressive. Like Formula D had a pretty good shootout there. Osbo, Forsberg, Gittin. But I don't know, all in all, it was kind of I don't know. I don't want to say a boring year. It just, I don't know. There wasn't these massive events. But we'll talk more about that. We got to take a break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder R.J. Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
MTX Audio is the leader in sound. Whether you're looking for high-quality, all-weather motorsports audio products like soundbars, amplifiers, and speakers that will work on any UTV or motorcycle, need to dial in your car or home with high-performance audio solutions, or are looking for a new portable speaker or set of headphones, MTX Audio has what you need to get your project sounding as good as it looks. MTX Audio is a family-owned American manufacturer who has been in business for over 40 years. Check out the full line of products at MTX.com. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, and this is the 5th anniversary show. Actually, our last show of the year, Hood. Taking next week off.
It is?
Yeah, next week is Christmas week. We're not doing anything over Christmas. So this is our last, and we'll be back, I guess, on I think it's the 3rd of January. So yeah, this is the last show of the year. So this is like your last big segment. We got like 14 minutes here of 2016 to get off whatever off your chest you need to get off. Like you know, this is time, good, because you got to leave it all out on the table because this is the last chance. And I got to add, it's my birthday on Thursday. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know. There's nothing to get off my chest. I mean, 2016, I can officially say, has probably been the best year of my life. You know, I struggled a lot trying to figure out where I wanted to end up and where I was going to take my career. I'm 27 years old, moto chick, and, you know, there's only so long that I can really ride a dirt bike professionally. There's very limited opportunities to make a full-time living, a comfortable living riding dirt bikes as a girl. I understand that. I mean, people can say whatever they want, but I've been trying to do this, man, for years, so I know. You know, it's a lot of grind, a lot of hard work. I've always had a full-time job back at home. I went to university for 5 years, and, you know, I always had to pay my way if I wanted to race. I had to, you know, pay my way to California, pay my way to the Nationals, and very fortunate. I had great sponsors, obviously, and great support team. My mom and dad always, you know, helping me out and supporting whatever crazy idea and thing that I wanted to do. But still, it was always a grind, and it was always the struggle between, you know, not living that bum life. Like, I never wanted to be a bum. I didn't want to have to, you know, live paycheck to paycheck. I wanted to be successful and have money and be able to travel when I want to. So I was really stuck between working full time to be able to afford the things that I like to do and trying to have a motorsports career. And it was really hard, and it was always stressed out. Jim knows that. I mean, I'd call you at the random times all the time, just freaking out, not knowing what I wanted to do. And you know, I have to say that you have to go through a lot of suck to get to the good. And finally, in 2016, I can officially say that it paid off, and I signed my contract with Monster Jam, and I have a new amazing career ahead of me, and I'm so excited. I'm just going to go in it, you know, 200%, with my head down, eyes forward, but I'm here to have a great time and, you know, make a lot of friends, make a lot of memories, meet all the fans, and just, you know, start a whole new chapter of my life. And it's so exciting, and I've never been in such a happy, comfortable place ever.
Yeah, it's definitely, knowing you personally, like the last 2 years have been kind of weird for you, and kind of like, where do I go? What do I do next? And, you know, it all eventually got put together through hard work and contacts and grinding away and things like that. And yeah, it was, I don't know, this next year's going to be, you know, talking about 2017. 2016 was a weird year. It was like a transition year for me because I've got a lot of projects. I mean, we went into national syndication, which was a big deal because did 4 years of radio, and then all of a sudden I did everything backwards than everybody else, you know, especially like my career. It really got started late in the game by race car driver standards, but yeah, it's, you know, it was just kind of a weird year because I didn't do a lot of racing. I mean, I did some racing, but it was just, it's because I've got this big project in 2017 we've been building on, and, you know, which I'm excited to let the cat out of the bag in January at some point. But, yeah, it's, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's been a good year. Definitely, you know, started a second show. I know you and I are talking about maybe starting a third show at some point next year, like another podcast or something. But I don't know where we're going to fit in all this time. But Pastrana's invited us out to Pastrana Land to have some fun. So I don't know. 2017 is going to be a good year. I know racing, like, Man, I don't know. What do you think? Like, I mean, we can go down the list. I mean, I can talk about off-road and that in a minute, but what do you think as far as racing goes? I mean, obviously, I've made the prediction. Snow bikes. This is kind of the year it kind of grows. I think the end of this next winter is when snow bikes really take off. I think that's my prediction on that. But as far as like Supercross and stuff, I mean, all these young kids coming in.
I know. I honestly don't even know if I'm talking Supercross and motocross again. Like with my transition to four wheels, I've not lost touch, but I don't have my inside scoop like I used to. Where I used to like, all my friends would be like, oh, this person's doing this, and this person just beat this person out at the practice track. Like I used to have like the inside black market scoop on who's what. Like it was pretty funny, but now I'm just really going off of standings and credibility and who I can see on Instagram is super cocky and think that they're going to take home everything. Like, I think we're going to see a really dominant Ken Roxon. I mean, depending on Jason Anderson's recovery, which I'm not too sure where he's at that point, but I think Jason Anderson's out for blood. Cooper Webb, Austin Forkner. I think those are going to be the two top runners. And I do think as well, Jeremy and Alex Martin, I don't know what Alex's off-season program has been like, but I do know, the guy from Honda team is really on his game. And I know Jeremy's kind of in a new place too with a new team, and he's happy. And I think that, Jeremy's always been like the king of outdoors. So I really hope that he can kind of come back to that. Like as much as, he's always talk a little smack here and there, but it's just because he wasn't at his potential that I knew he probably could have been. Just like Adam Cinderella. I mean, we love the guy. Is he where we want him to be? No. Like I hope Adam can figure things out too. I mean, there's so many, but I think that this is going to be the year that we're going to see a new wave of young riders like the Austin Forkners come through and overshine, the Jeremy Martin, Alex Martin, and even Cooper Webb of the world. I mean, Cooper will always have his stick, like he's the cocky kid that thinks he is the king. And I think that the younger generation that's coming up is going to be a very interesting and aggressive next wave of riders that come out of Loretta's this year. And it's they'll make their debut in outdoors, and I'm really excited to see kind of who that is. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think young kids. It's to me just everything. I'm looking at like off road, and I see these young Razor kids. I saw Seth Quintero just now got a factory Polaris deal. He got a Red Bull deal a year ago, and then he gets a Polaris deal this year. So he's a kid. I think he's 13, 14. Man, he's got things going for him. But. Like, I see these young kids, 18, 19, and so ridiculously talented. And, that's just the off-road side of things. I know Formula Drift is the same way. Like, I've seen even in Europe, like, there's some of these rally kids that, they all trickle to the United States for GRC and some other things. But some of these rally kids are just so young. It's like, man, like, people are peaking in their careers so young now, and they have so much talent. It's just crazy, man. And then what I think is cool is you've got the veterans like in off-road. You've still got Rob McCachran killing it, or Formula Drift, you got Von Gittin and Osbo, or in Supercross, you still got Chad Reed, who I love to death, and the guy can still take a win. I don't know that he's necessarily a championship threat, but Chad Reed, mark my word, he's going to take a win at some point in 2017 if he stays healthy for the full Supercross season. Like, he can put it together for a race. And, see, I think that's cool. You got a guy like that. Like, who's to say, you hear people, oh, his career's done. What do you mean? Chad Reed, he can still win. Like, I don't know. We got a very diverse field of athletes nowadays. And I agree when you say that a lot of people are peaking really early on in their careers, and I actually kind of think that a lot of these kids jump into it way too early, and they, like you said, they peak at like 17, 18, and I mean then they're kind of plagued with all the injuries that come a little bit later than that because they're just pushing to be able to keep up with these. Maybe older, more experienced, seasoned athletes. Especially, I mean, look how gnarly Supercross is. I mean,
I mean, why would you want to be 17 years old trying to qualify into that? Like, go have a successful arena cross career. Go dominate at all the amateur nationals, because you get one chance to really live that amateur career where you can still, there's kids on amateur programs like Team Green who are just making bank and are, super successful, and, they choose to stay in that as long as they can, because once you go pro, there's no going back. So people, these athletes got to learn to enjoy this journey and to have a longevity. And I always talk about that because I strongly believe in, working to not just win a bunch of races, but to have a, longevity with your careers and be able to open other doors. But if you go in, you get burnt out, you peak, who was it? Zach Bell? Zach Bell is the perfect example of a kid who came into Supercross way too early. And, crashed his face off a bunch of times, rang his bell, and Zach Bell rang his bell. That kid got knocked out so many times, and then that was kind of it. We don't really hear much from Zach Bell anymore, and he had such potential. He had such potential to be, an insane amateur athlete who any team would die to choose to have him as their rider once he decided that he wanted to race pro. I just think that, these young kids got to slow down, enjoy their careers. It can be a very long, successful journey if you just take your time at it. Yeah. Do you agree?
No, I agree, and it's funny you say that because I keep my Twitter feed up, during the show, one, for news, and two, we get questions and things like that. And as you said this is actually an MMA-related, UFC-related deal, but it ties in because, so Paige Van Zandt, I don't know if you know who she is. She was on Dancing with the Stars. She's 22, just turned 22. She's really cute MMA fighter in the strawweight division, it's the division below Ronda Rousey's division, right? Super cute, millions of Instagram followers because she's a fighter and everything else. Well, she just lost this weekend, and people are down on her, this and that. And I'm like, let's not forget, this girl is 22. She probably shouldn't even be fighting professionally. She should have stayed amateur status and honed her skills. She's had some wins, massive following. She's uber talented, but people are down on her, and I'm like, she's got probably 15 years left in her career. She's 22. The people are saying she'll never win a title. I'm like, who wins a title at 22? Nobody wins a title at 22 in fighting. But it's the same thing. The same thing in Supercross. I think these kids are coming in too early, too young. It's just wait a year or two, before you do it, because your skills are going to be that much better, and your knowledge, and you'll just be grown up that much more. It's I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, no, totally. Completely. I completely agree.
Yeah, so I don't know. I see that in everything, all kinds of motorsports and stuff like that. And I think, we've talked about it, I think, going into this year, and we're talking about it going into next year, man. It's these young kids, it's youth. It's just impressive. They're all talented, and it seems like very few can ever keep it together and and make their way and actually make a career of it because there's so many traps when you're that young, and become that good and that fast and start making that kind of money. So yeah, so that's kind of where we're at, but we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, Amy Hood and I, we're going to be wrapping up this anniversary edition of the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Got any questions for us? Tweet us at JimBeaver15, at Amy Hood during the break. We'll get them answered before we wrap things up. Thanks a lot.
I'm Polaris rider Lee Valley, and I choose Polaris just because they have the best quality, highest performing, most fun machines out there.
Only one company has taken Levi LaValle to 10 X Games medals, snowcross championships, a double backflip, and a world record long jump of 412 feet across the San Diego Harbor on New Year's Eve, and that company is Polaris. Whether it's dominating the X Games, racing a stock Polaris Razor XP1000 in the Terracross Championship, or just hitting the trail on the weekend, for over 20 years, Levi has relied on the same quality Polaris vehicles and products you can purchase at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of action sports legend Levi LaValle and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood, wrapping things up on our last episode of 2016, our 5th anniversary show. And, well, Hood, it has been one hell of a ride. As always, I am stoked to have you a part of the team. And, I don't know, I think you and I work pretty good together, man. It's wouldn't be doing it for almost...
I like to think so, too.
Wouldn't be doing it for almost 3 years. Just trying to figure out how we're going to mix in some Monster Jam next year and like tie some stuff in, maybe some live remotes or something like that. We got to figure something out with the powers that be, I think.
Yeah, definitely. We'll make it happen for sure. And I'll be excited. I mean, the next time I guess I talk to you guys, I'm going to be heading on a plane off to my first show in Nashville the day after. So it'll be pretty cool.
I'm gonna just put it out there right now. Like, I think we need to do the first ever father-daughter interview with Dennis and Kristen Anderson. So that's just me.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the thing is they're going to be all doing different tours, so yeah. We'll just have to, satellite in them wherever they're at.
Yeah. So we'll figure it out. We've done it before. Did Graham Rahal and Courtney Forrest? That was fun. First ever interview they did together since they got married. So had a good run this year. So feel free to hit us up at JimBeaver15, at AmyHood71 on social media, Facebook. Amy's on there. I am as well. I'm pumping out the Facebook Lives. Amy's going to start doing those soon, and I haven't got into the Instagram Live thing yet, but you can give us follows pretty much everywhere. Don't forget the Travis Pastrana interview this week is going to re-air in its entirety, all 45, 50 minutes worth on Project Action this Thursday. You can get it at downanddirtyshow.com, podcast1.com, the Podcast One app, or on iTunes. And when you go there, just search Project Action. Please subscribe and then rate and review. And if you do that, I'm following anybody back that reviews and leaves your Instagram or Twitter at username. So I like to know who my listeners are. So if you want to follow from me, it's the easiest way to get it. Man, after the first of the year, we got UTV Winter Nationals, Winter X Games, Supercross A1, Snowcross. We're going to have to line up like a Supercross rider for the first week of the year, I think. I'll work on that.
I know, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So big shout out to Polaris, Razor, General Tire, Subaru, Casey Highlights, Gibson, Exhaust, Dirtfish, MTX Audio, Impact, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino. And I think we got everybody covered. I don't know. I want to throw it out there. I will have a couple of project actions over the holidays. I've done some pre-recorded interviews and stuff like that. So that show will be going. We got new stuff dropping every Thursday there. And I don't know, Amy. I'm signing off. You all good?
I'm good. Everybody have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Bona Vista, something. Stay safe, have fun, and I'll talk to you guys in the new year.
All right, sounds good, guys. As always, be safe. Game on.